Good evening, folks. Wesley Bray coming at you from the studios of Core Scope Insights. Hey, we're excited. We got a great show planned for tonight. We've actually got an expert as far as crawl space encapsulation. It's a topic that more and more people are getting prevalent with, just due to the fact there's more demand for it. So we have got Mr. Matt Leach in the house with us with Crawl Space Repair. And Matt has been doing this since 2007. He started Crawl Space Repair. So we're excited to have him in the studio with us tonight. So Matt, I'm going to let you tell us a little bit about you.
Okay. So Crawl Space Repair, we started in 2007 in Michigan. And we operated there until 2015. And then we moved the company from Michigan down here to South Carolina to Greenwood. And we have expanded our locations from Greenwood to Duncan. And we have two large warehouses, and we have everything on demand, ready to ship.
Is awesome. That is awesome. So, folks, I've gotten to know Matt pretty well, and just very excited about the products that he has because, like I said, he has everything that you need to encapsulate a crawl space from A to Z. So, we're not going to be able to talk about it all tonight for time purposes. We are only allotted so much time, but we are going to cover things that you as a contractor would be interested in knowing about what Crawl Space Repair has to offer. So Matt, first of all, I want to talk to you about the Silverback product that you have, and if you can expand on that and kind of let our customers know what you have available, and I'll let you take it from there.
Sure. So our Silverback product we developed that back in 2010. And we started with an American manufacturing company, and we still manufacture everything in America. So all of our resins, films blown here in the United States, we laminate here in the United States, we weld it, fold it, and package it all made here in the United States. And the reason that we went with the Silverback was because we needed a 20 mil in the industry. And a lot of what we find even today is, we know a 2x4 is not a 2x4, and so or it's not 2 inches by 4 inches. And so what was happening back when I was doing installs is if you bought a 20 mil, you would get a 15 or a 16 mil. And so along those same lines of nominal and a 2x4 is not a 2x4, that's how things were sold. So in 2010, I started working with manufacturing to make an actual 20 mil, get the durability of 20 mils thick, right? And so just to get an idea what a real 20 mil thickness is, about 4 sheets of a sheet of printer paper is about 4 mils thick. So about 5 of those would be, if you stacked them together on top of each other, you'd give you a pretty good idea of what 20 mil thickness is. And so we make it out of virgin polyethylene, first use, and it's 20 mils thick at the plastic, not at the reinforcement. And so you get a really durable product. And we get asked a lot, should I use a 10 mil? Should I use a 20 mil? Should I use a 6 mil? What should I use? And so the answer to that is, how durable do you want it, right? The difference between a 6 mil and a 20 mil is really just durability. When it comes to the moisture that would pass through that plastic, it's very negligible, the difference between the two. And so if you want a product that's going to last your lifetime, your customer's lifetime, right? Everybody in this room, that product's going to be here way past us being gone. That's the product's going to get that done. It's going to stand up to crawl traffic. It's going to, you can store on it if you want to, because it's virgin polyethylene. It's not going to degrade. It's going to last a lifetime. And so because it's American made and that's what it's designed for, is to be used in a crawl space, that's going to get you a really, really long service life.
Did you mention the size rolls that it comes in?
Yeah, so we have a couple different sizes. This product comes in 13'4" wide, so that fits really well in most applications, between the support beam and the foundation wall. And that'll come 75 feet long, so that's a 1,000 square foot roll. Very popular, that size by itself for the floor. And then we offer that also in a 50 foot, 13.5 foot wide and 50 foot long. And then a 6'9" wide by 100 foot long. So if you get piers that are a lot closer together, or you needed to do if you wanted to put 20 mil on the wall, you'd be able to use that product for that. Sometimes you can overlap them depending on what the crawl space options are, but those are the 3 roll sizes.
Absolutely. That's great. And then you guys also have other products. I think that customers would like to know about, because you also have the Guardian liner out there that's also very durable and
That's right.
it can be used by professionals when they're doing the job.
Yep.
So let's talk about the Guardian liner a little bit and
Sure.
tell the listening audience out there what the difference is with the Guardian. So
So when we
please.
make the silverback, the only additive we put into the silverback is a UV inhibitor. And then we move to the Guardian liner that has that UV inhibitor in there because the white doesn't like sunlight. So it makes it a very good product for encapsulations because it doesn't sit in the sunlight. But what we've done with Guardian liner that sets it aside from other products in the market is that we add a antimicrobial, antifungal additive to both the top and the bottom side. And
What does that do?
what that does is that helps to inhibit the mold and mildew growth on the barrier. And so polyethylene naturally won't allow mold growth. But as organic materials land on it, bugs and different things that get on top of it, you may have a mold and mildew growth. And more importantly, what's going on underneath the barrier where you have a very, very damp environment, because that barrier does what that barrier is supposed to do, which is stop evaporation. So the moisture under this barrier will rise. And so this antifungal will help control growth on the plastic. And so that sets it aside from anybody else's product out in the market, is that we put a 2% antifungal in both the top and the bottom layer to protect that plastic and to protect the environment that it's installed in.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, as I said, folks, they've got some really durable products, some that are going to hold up the test of time. So, we're going to talk about more of what they do, but give us some situations, or give us some areas where you guys cover. What areas do you cover as far as shipping and getting your product out? So, do you guys ship all over? I'll let you kind of give
Yeah,
your take on that.
so the most popular area is east of the Mississippi, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because of shipping costs, the farther you get, the more it costs. We have a great relationship with our shipping partners. We can ship through freight, or we can ship through small package. Locally in the South Carolina area, Columbia, across to even up into Charlotte area, we have a delivery truck that we can deliver products to. But we have a very experienced staff when it comes to working with our shipping partners to keep the cost down. And we can reach, I mean, we've shipped to Australia, we've shipped to both Alaska and Hawaii, we ship to Canada quite often, we've shipped to the Bahamas. There's no place that we can't make something happen. If it's the product that's right for your project, we can get it to you. For
That's
sure.
great. And one thing I've found out, in just talking with you regarding your customer service, you've got some very capable people answering the phone. And that's one thing I found out, is when you've got a question about crawl space repair, you don't have to wait for somebody. You get somebody on the phone, and those
That's right.
guys, those folks really know what they're talking about and how to help customers through pretty much any scenario I found.
Yeah.
So if you want to elaborate on that a little bit.
So we don't believe in the auto attendant, right? When you
Right.
call our company, we have almost 20 people. So somebody's going to answer the phone, even if they're not in sales. If the phone's ringing, somebody's going to answer it. I've been in the business, this particular business, for almost 20 years. My oldest employee's been in the business with me since 2010, so he's at 15 years. And he's right behind him. He's got his wife that's been with me for 13 years. And then I've got maybe another half a dozen or so that's been with me for 8 years or more. So our employees are very well versed in the products that we do, in the business that we're in, and we make them available to anybody that needs help in whether it's installation help, ordering help, shipping help. Even if it's a shipping damage, we can overcome that as well.
Well, that's nice to know. I know we're kind of on topic with what our 4 key points are tonight and what we're going to talk about. But folks, I do want to let you know that when I say they have everything from A to Z in their catalog, just in case you're interested, or if you go online, you'll find that they do have the sticky tape, they have the foundation seal tape. They have the foundation pins. They have the premium encapsulation caulk. ground spikes. So everything that you're going to need to do the job. And then also they have fans to keep the air circulating towards the dehumidifiers under the house. So we've got, everything thought of pretty much from A to Z. And so next, I would like to just kind of go over. We talk about this fantastic machine, the Moisture Medic dehumidifier. That's really that's brand specific for you guys.
Yeah, so we, for years we sold Santa Fe, and we ended up partnering up with April Air, and we've had a really good. They make us a really good product, right? There's been a lot of changes in the market in the dehumidifier manufacturing. There's a lot of Chinese units coming in. One of the challenges we had with Santa Fe is they've moved their manufacturing to Mexico, and so we struggle with making sure that our products are high quality, and we have an American made base, and that goes with all of our barriers, all of our products. Our tapes are all made in the United States. So we really focus on a very centric American made product line. And that, it keeps it from being a cheap alternative. It keeps it as a premier product, right? So when we partnered up with April Air, the Moisture Medic, the beauty of the Moisture Medic is that it's tried and true. It's been tested, right? It's the same as the April Air. At this point, the April Air E70. It started off the 1820, but now they've evolved it to the E70, the E100, and the E130. The difference between what the Moisture Medic offers and what April Air offers is when you buy a Moisture Medic, we don't have the April Air brand value attached to it. So that gives us a little bit of leeway to give you a little bit better price. You're getting the exact same unit, except it has the Moisture Medic name on the side of it. And it's an authentic unit because if you go onto April Air's warranty page and you go to register your warranty, the Moisture Medic HC70, HC90, and the HC130 come up in the drop down to select so that you can register your warranty. So that April Air acknowledges that this is one of their units. It gets warranty just the same. So the same 5-year warranty, if you love that in April Air, you get the same thing in Moisture Medic. But the difference is when you get, because let me start over with the difference. So with a Moisture Medic and an April Air, they come with a washable filter. And so when we started on the path with April Air making the Moisture Medic, one of the things that was a concern to me was the changing out that filter, making sure that filter stays clean so that this unit stays clean and it performs properly the whole time that you have it.
Sure.
And so for a lower price in the Moisture Medic, under the Moisture Medic name, you get 2 filters, right? You get the duct collars the same as April Air, you get everything else the same as April Air, but inside it comes with 2 filters. So from an installer's perspective or a service agreement perspective, as you come back year after year and service your customer, you don't have to wash this filter out, shake it and dry it out, and then put it back in the dehumidifier wet and make the dehumidifier dry out the filter. It's just an easy swap. And you take that dirty filter and you wash it, you put it on the shelf, it dries on the shelf. 6 months later or 8 months later, when you go back to do your service again, it's ready to go. So it's not a very big deal, but it is when you're doing it, right? It makes it a little bit easier for you to keep up on the maintenance.
That's awesome. Great answers. So my next question, I think you touched on it in the model numbers, but just for our listening audience out there. So we have a 70 pint, a 100 pint, and a 130 pint. Is that correct? And that's per 24-hour period of time?
That's correct. Yep. So it's the same unit. Our HC70 is the same unit as the E070. Our HC90 is the same unit as the E100, and our HC130 is the same unit as the 130. And these are the 3 most popular, right? And so the 130 is, it's not really a crawl space unit. People do put them in there, but it's really quite a large unit. If you feel like you need to go to a 130, generally speaking, what you need to do is add air circulation in order to really get the capacity. Because if you look at a 70 pint, that's somewhere around 9 gallons a day in a 24-hour period, which is that's a lot of water. I mean, that's 2 5-gallon buckets of water in 24 hours, right? And so if a crawl space is unconditioned, then that's something that will probably be a high demand part of the dehumidifier. Sure. But once you encapsulate and you seal it and you get that moisture out of the wood, out of the block, you get the thing dried out, then the capacity isn't the concern anymore. It's getting the moisture that's in the air to go through this box and go back where it came from and have a good representation of dry air in the space. So, we do that through the air support and the fan pack system that we
Sure.
have that hooks right up to the dehumidifier, and it
It's
runs
very simple, by
very,
the way.
very
I
simple.
want to
It's
break.
low voltage.
Yeah, low voltage wiring. So we're not doing anything here that's going
That's
to,
right.
if you touch it, it's going to blow you away out there. So just want to make that clear. Everything here we're talking about is simple installation. I don't want to use the old term so simple a monkey could do it or anything like that, because there is some thought that goes into place into it.
The
Correct.
moisture management plan is very important. Where the fan's set, where the dehumidifier is placed, how that system works, how you get that circulation to go, because the objective in a dehumidifier when it's running, right, is to lower the dew point temperature. And so if it's isolated or it's not in a space that is being ventilated and circulated and mixed with the other air, it's going to dry an area of that crawl space. And it's not going to really reach, like you think about a 2,000 square foot space and you got a dehumidifier in one of it. How do you get the air from way over there to come way over here?
Sure.
By itself, all it's going to do is it's going to dry an area, and then it's going to mix with the moisture, and then dry an area, and then mix with the moisture. Right, it's through kind of like an osmosis. It's going to take over and start drying things. But as you have weather changes outside, and you have high pressure and low pressure pushing against your house, you're going to have moisture coming in sometimes faster than it can take it out. And so circulation, moving the air around, helps to accelerate and really use 100% of the capacity of the dehumidifier. There's a lot of folks that use ducting, and I mean, there's things that we can do to help you make and understand a moisture management plan, how best to set it up, depending on what kind of crawl space, what kind of obstructions and things that are down there, what you have to normally get around. And we can help whether ducting is better or a fan pack is better, or incorporate some air support or other items in there to make this thing work better. So ultimately the customer gets a longer service life out of this not cheap dehumidifier. I mean,
Right.
they're getting
Exactly.
to be quite an investment these days. To make a higher quality product, they're getting up there. They're not like they used to be.
Absolutely. And just to throw this out there, a lot of people, there's questions that come up as far as what doesn't crawl space encapsulation do for me? So, or what are the benefits of doing it? So we know that also it eliminates the amount of pests that you have crawling up into your house through the cracks and joists and everything like that as well. But talk about what is the pinpoint where we want to be on humidity control with a dehumidifier. I know in an attic when we're dehumidifying a whole house, a lot of times we're talking that number you want to be at is 55% humidity and less. So tell our audience, because crawl spaces is your profession.
Yeah.
So is that the same? Or
So crawl spaces and attics do very well mimic each other, right? They're on opposite ends of the stack effect. The cold air falls and the warm air rises. So
Right.
it goes to the attic and it comes from the crawl space, right? And so let's start with the reason that encapsulation is so important. And it's down south here. It's the contaminant is the moisture, the dew point temperature, right? And so if you have 70 degrees air temperature and 70 degrees dew point temperature, you have 100% relative humidity. That's the relationship between those two. And so in the south, and the farther south you go, the more this is true. You can see here in South Carolina that the dew point temperature gets 71, 72 degrees Fahrenheit.
right.
And so our air temperatures get quite high, but our crawl space temperatures stay around 65 degrees. And so when your air temperature is below your dew point temperature, you have 110, 120% relative humidity. And that's why everything's dripping wet and it's soaked. It's because of the dew point temperature.
Right.
So encapsulation comes into play because the way that the homes were built and designed to handle the moisture that evaporates from the earth that the house is built on is supposed to evacuate through the foundation vents. Air blows, high low pressure exchanges, all those things happen. The problem is that the dew point temperature in the air actually brings in more moisture than ever leaves. So you get into the shoulder season, whether it's spring or fall, when it's a little drier, it's a little cooler, those vents work really, really well.
Sure.
But in the summer and the winter, they don't, right?
Different story.
Yeah, we're talking about winter temperatures getting under your house and freezing pipes and making your floors cold. And in the summertime, you've got that high dew point temperature, which brings in that saturation. It saturates your floor joists, and that's where you start getting mold and mildew when you start talking about 65 to 68 degrees. Mold loves to grow in that environment.
Loves to grow in that environment.
So the building code has come to some compromise, and it said that if dew point temperature to seal those vents, then we need to seal that earth, right? So if we can seal the earth, we can close these vents. So basically, when we do that, we have created a basement, right? Sure. You can't stand up. It's the same science as what a basement is. And so when you have a cooler temperature like we do in crawl spaces, you're going to have a higher relative humidity because of the temperature. So dehumidification comes into play. And so the one place that the building code has not really backed off of, which is that they require ventilation.
Right. So North Carolina, they have to bring in outside fresh air, you know.
Yeah, and I'm an advocate,
huge advocate for that coming to South Carolina.
So so when we seal off the vapor barrier to the foundation and put a barrier down, tape the seams, seal it to the walls, we can close the vents. And once we've done that, we have that basement environment. And so now the code still requires ventilation, and that ventilation is described in a lot of different ways, right? It's open foundation vents, it's a HVAC system, or it's a standing dehumidifier. And so the fallback into the industry is to put in a standalone dehumidifier. And so heating and cooling companies can put in that a supply and return. Those are options as well, but ultimately it allows you an environment that you can control, and that's what you're really trying to get.
Absolutely. Well, folks, hey, that wraps up our first segment here. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to actually go and recognize some of our sponsors that make this all possible. And we want to thank you so much to our sponsors out there. We couldn't do this without you. We're bringing you informative information with our guest here tonight, Matt Leach with Crawl Space Repair, and we'll be right back. Y'all stay tuned. When strength, simplicity, and American craftsmanship matter, there's only one name to know: Mid-Air Systems. Proudly made in the United States, every unit is powder-coated black for a durable, sleek finish that looks as well as it performs. Forget about the toolbox. You'll only need a drill to make 4 quick holes for the eye bolts provided in the box. It installs easily in an attic or crawl space, and one person can level it in seconds. With a 500-pound weight capacity and a full line of custom accessories, Mid-Air Systems delivers strength, safety, and simplicity, all engineered right here at home. That's why every contractor should consider Mid-Air Systems for your next job. When it comes to finding your dream home in South Carolina, experience matters, and Adam Biedenbow brings over 20 years of proven real estate success to every client he serves. Whether you're buying your first home, upgrading, or relocating, even downsizing, Adam knows the state of South Carolina and his community, its neighborhoods, its schools, and its hidden gems, because he's been helping families build their futures here for over 2 decades. With a commitment to honesty, hard work, and personal service, Adam Biedenbow is the name that you can trust when it comes to your real estate needs. Call Adam at 803-206-7025 and let Adam go to work for you. All right, folks out there in the listening world, we are back. Wesley Bray here, your host, Core Scope Insights. So we've got Matt Leach still in here with us tonight, and we've been covering some great topics as far as product. On the Silverback product, we've covered the Guardian. And now on the table here, Matt, we have got a Moisture Medic dehumidifier that Matt's going to go over with you and show you the similarities to the April Air, and how, because it is actually April Air. So, Matt, I'll let you take over, have at it away there, sure. And let's get your expert opinion on this and your expert leadership in what we're doing here.
So we can talk about the filter real quick, and this filter door here. This is the filter that you get 2 of when you get a Moisture Medic. And these are the washable filters. You just rinse them out and you put them back in, put the cover back on. One of the things that makes an April Air or a Moisture Medic operate better, and I don't think a lot of folks understand this, is where the drain is located versus where the fan is at. And in Moisture Medic, the fans are up front and the drain is here. And so the reason that this is important is because when the air is coming through the cabinet, it is pressurizing the drain, which allows the drain pan to completely drain out and to actually pushes air out the drain pipe. When you go to other models where the drain is in the front or the fan is behind the drain, that creates a negative draw. So now the fan is pulling and the filter is actually restricting the amount of air that can come through the front. and it ends up having to draw air through here. So inside here, there's a pan that this water collects in, and it's pitched to drain out this hole. But if it can't get enough airflow through this box, it starts to suck it in here, which then ends up holding water in that drain pan inside there, allowing fungus and nasty stuff to grow. And then when the DHU turns off, all that stuff kind of rolls back out. So it's the design of where the drain and the fan are very, very important. This is the HC70, so this is the 70 pint.
Certainly small enough there to fit through a crawl space door,
so
too.
That's 12 inches tall, 12 inches wide, and 25 inches long. Fits into most openings, most every opening. I mean, an adult-sized person. I guess I'm away from here, but the adult-sized person can fit through the hole. Then this dehumidifier is going to fit through the hole.
I couldn't imagine a crawl space door being smaller than that, because certainly if that can't fit through it, a person can't fit through it.
So the problem that a lot of dehumidifiers, the bigger ones, have is getting it into the space around ductwork and back to wherever it is that they want to put it. So size has a lot to do with the makeup of fitting into the crawl space versus standing up, laying down, those kinds of things. So Aprilaire has done a really good job. And one of the things, so this dehumidifier, I'm going to move a few things out of the way here. And you won't see this with many of the imported dehumidifiers. And you're going to look inside here, and this is an empty cabinet. It makes it easier to carry, but it also helps you understand when you look inside here. This insulation that's on the side does a couple things. It keeps the heat from dissipating around this and keeps it all coming out the backside. It also keeps this unit running quite quietly. And so you get a much better experience with a higher quality product like this. Where you start looking at the import, they don't have that insulation, and you'll get a lot of rattle and a lot more vibration and noise and things like that. Where this insulation really absorbs quite a bit of that, and it makes it run a little bit smoother.
And also, this unit, I've always found it true with Aprilaire units as well as Moisture Medic. You have a lower amp draw than some of the competition out there.
Yeah, they're more efficient. Yeah, and
a lot more efficient.
Yeah, and that's the big target is to get a higher capacity for a lower energy rating. And so Energy Star and the focus to keep things safer and working better and cost less to run is a bigger piece of the pie here. But it's capacity and performance, keeping the noise down, right? You don't want to hook up a unit that vibrates underneath somebody's bedroom or underneath their house. You can hang these, same as with an Aprilaire. There's a bracket that goes right underneath their feet here and a cord that goes up. I've got one in my house, and I never hear it run, and it runs as often as it should in South Carolina.
Sure.
And also you can get feet to go underneath them, but it does everything that the Aprilaire unit does for the value, and we're talking a little bit difference in price. I mean, enough to certainly take a look at. And we keep like an HC70, I keep a couple hundred of them in stock, so there's no problem with getting them on demand.
Absolutely.
Then we work with Aprilaire too. So if you get 16 units, they'll ship from free directly from Aprilaire. There's a lot of incentives and programs if you wanted to switch over to the Moisture Medic. If you love the Aprilaire, you really love this unit. Things that are features to it that are just a little bit different, but really benefit your program.
That's awesome. One thing I want us to talk about a little bit, if you will, Matt, is I've always, I've done a lot of training classes, or I've been, doing a PowerPoint presentation, doing training and things. And one thing I've said to a lot of contractors over and over and over is, guys, if you're not offering crawl space encapsulation, if you're an HVAC contractor and you are not offering crawl space encapsulation, and correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, but and I'll let you speak to this in a minute, but I want to just say some things. If you are not offering it as part of your business, and let's say you've got a customer that has a problem, a moisture issue, and you can't address it because you're not offering crawl space encapsulation, and let's say another HVAC company goes out and they do work behind you, and let's say that they say, hey, that we've identified a problem and we can offer a fix. A lot of times that can leave a loophole for someone to lose a customer, or to, I talk about it with contractors all the time. We're in the HVAC business, or you are, you're in the HVAC business. Part of your business is keeping someone comfortable in their house. That is, hey, number
That's
one,
right.
your
That's why you're
goal.
there.
And
Yep.
that's why you're there. And so, then I hear the guys that talk about, well, we had a great summer, things slacked off in the shoulder seasons, and now we're having to lay people off, or you have to bring them back on. And then there's always that chance that you're not going to get somebody as good next season as
Right.
you let go this year.
Yeah, they're going to go work for
They're
somebody
going to go
else.
work for somebody
Yep.
else. And so it's like a nonstop. It's hard to keep good people, and you hear it all the time. And there's also the old saying out there that's, hey, you can't find good people to want to work anymore. Well, and I think this is just an added opportunity for a contractor to be able to expand his portfolio on what he's offering to homeowners, and also be able to offer, his customers. I know some guys that they're in the crawl space business. They're contractors, and they are staying busy year round.
Mm-hmm.
And you talk to these guys that are just doing crawl space encapsulation. There are guys out there that are making a good living just as much as your HVAC installers, and that's all they're focusing on. And then I know it pays part to different markets as to
That's
what's
right. Yeah.
there.
Location.
But I just wanted you to expand on that a little bit, if you could. And I don't want to step on toes or anything of anybody out there. I'm not knocking the way you do business, but I am telling you guys, if you're not offering crawl space encapsulation, okay, hey, quote it, subcontract it out. Find you a subcontractor. Just trying to help my HVAC friends out there be able to offer more to their customers. And some people, you're so busy you don't have time to do it. I get that. I hear that all the time. But I'm just putting it out there for those of you that are looking to grow your business. Crawl space encapsulation is a great way to do it, because the bug guys, the termite, the pest control guys, they're all about it. Okay. So just, if you will.
Yeah, so we've been working with HVAC companies for almost 20 years on this. I mean, there's definitely an interest across the spectrum. And just like you said, some feel like they're busy enough in what they do, but I think it is important that it's in their lineup. They can at least they know enough about it that they can guide them, or share a partnership with someone that does do this encapsulation. And when you look at the lifespan of your air handler units and your ductwork and things in an open crawl space, you can extend. And there's two lines of thought here, right? There's the companies that say, if it only lasts 10 or 15 years, then I get to sell them another one. And then there's the more customer centric, family owned mindset, which is, what can I do to have this last longer? Well, how can we make these products, these mechanical units last longer? And the answer to that is encapsulation, right? You're bringing these units, this air handler and the ductwork, you're bringing it into an indoor environment when you encapsulate. And so that includes the water heater and all of the elements besides the advanced air quality that you're gonna create. You're gonna get everything that's in that crawl space is gonna last longer. I mean, it's gonna provide its full service life, because it's not gonna rust out. It's not gonna fall apart because of the environment that it's living in. I think those days are gone, and so the heating and cooling contractors that adopt that mindset, it becomes a much easier platform to sell an encapsulation when you're there doing a change out because it's rotted out, and you're on your second or your third time for this particular customer, and you can offer a solution to stop that cycle and get this newer, high efficient, higher dollar equipment to last its full lifetime. This may well be, in many cases, the last air handler we'll have to put in here. We can repair it through its entire life cycle now, because the environment is much healthier for it to live in.
All great stuff we just talked about there, Matt. So glad having you on the show to talk about this, because I think a lot of people out there, even including myself, I'm getting more of an education on crawl space encapsulation than I've ever had. And that's one of the nice things. Since I've gotten to know you, I've learned so much more about it, and I can't thank you enough.
Sure.
But folks, we're going to get to our second break here. This will be our last one. But we're going to come right back after these messages from our sponsors. And we just want to thank our sponsors again. Thank Matt for being here. We'll be right back. Hold on tight. Are you looking to rock and roll or find your rhythm? Musician Supply has everything you need to make music come alive. From guitars, drums, percussion, and wind instruments, they carry instruments that get you playing today. Need to get your gear tuned, repaired, or customized? Their expert luthier service has you covered. Want to sharpen your skills or start a new hobby? Music lessons available for every age and level are available at Musician Supply. And the best part, they have wall-to-wall stock, ready for you to take home and start making music. With 2 locations to serve you in the Columbia, South Carolina area, look no further than Musician Supply or check them out on their website at www.musiciansupply.com. When your operations can't afford downtime, you need a partner you can count on. A&A Electric Motor Supply Company in Aiken, South Carolina, delivers fast, reliable solutions for all your industrial needs. From motor repair to motor rewinds to valves and pumps for the wastewater industry, their experienced team keeps your equipment running at peak performance. Need a job done fast? They expedite repairs or service when your product line is down, because all they know how to do is get you back up and running. So, A&A Electric Motor Supply Company, keeping your systems moving, your downtime to a minimal, and your business on track. Give A&A Motors a call today at 803-648-0159. Hey, we're back, folks. Thank y'all for staying tuned with us. Thank y'all for joining in. We appreciate the listening audience out there, and we certainly hope we're putting some content out there that is hitting home with you guys and you're enjoying. So this will be our third segment here. We're going to get right back to Matt. And Matt, there's one other product that I had on my list that you wanted to talk about as well. Yep. Let's talk about the InstaDry and tell our listening audience a little bit about the InstaDry product that
Sure.
you have.
So our InstaDry sump basin evolved from an installation that I did in like 2008, where in Michigan we have this thaw that happens in January, and it gets warm and all the snow melts and the ground's still frozen. The water's got no place to go. And so there was a house in Birmingham that I had encapsulated a crawl space on, and there was a standard basin in there. And I had to go back out because it popped out of the ground. Or the humidity or the moisture that was in the ground, it was it just came out of the ground. So I had to dig this whole space back out. It was in sand. It was quite the project. And so I stepped back and said, how can we make this different? So our first iteration of it, we drilled holes in it and we put an anti-float plate on it, and we made it so where that never happened again. And that worked very well. And the next challenge that we came to was when we were in a really high hydrostatic pressure environment, like near a lake or a river where there's water in the ground that is pressurized around this. And those holes were shooting like garden hoses. The water couldn't get into the basin fast enough. And so we took the next iteration of advancement on the design was to put the water slots in the side. So now when you look at it, there's no way that water can't get into the space when you look through these water slots on the side. We kept the girth of the sump pump basin the same so that the pumps will run the full cycle, and we can keep these sump pumps lasting their full service life. And then the other thing that we did to make this very different than anything else you can find in the market is it comes in 2 pieces. So the right place to put the sump basin may be in the back corner around the air handler, and there's not a lot of space to get there. Or in a crawl space hole, the access hole is too small to fit a full-size basin in. So this basin we manufacture here in the United States. We manufacture it up in Michigan. We own the die. We design the die. Everything's made right here. The resins are from here. Keep it in line with our American-made products, American-made design. And it comes in 2 identical halves. So when you buy a basin, the InstaDry basin comes with a lid and the seals, and it comes with everything you need if you have your own pump. If you get in a kit, then it comes with a check valve and a Liberty pump. It comes with some PVC fittings, so when you go to install it, you've got all the parts to tie into something existing, or to at least get you started.
Let me stop you right there. You mentioned Liberty pumps. You also carry Liberty pumps.
That's
you have those in stock. I think that's very important for the listening audience to know as well, because you may be, I don't want you to miss an opportunity to sell a Liberty pump if somebody doesn't know that Crawl Space Repair has Liberty pumps.
So our 2 most popular pumps with Liberty is the 237, right? It's a 3rd horsepower. and the condensation pump from Liberty that we use with our moisture medic. So those are the two most popular pumps. And so you can get it with half horse, the sump, instant dry sump kit. You can get it with a half horse, or you can get it with a third. You just got to keep in mind that the reason you'd use a half horse is if you're going to pump more than 10 feet up, straight up, right? So if you went outside the crawl space, you had to go up over a hill or something like that, you'd need something that's got a little more power. Other than that, the third horse gets it done. And we usually keep, a couple hundred of those on hand at all times. So we keep thousands of the instant dry basin kits because we make them a couple thousand at a time. But we keep the Liberty pumps. We keep several hundred of those, so we can pretty much match on demand any amounts that somebody would need or want to stock. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I was really intrigued when I found out about the product and I saw it for the first time. I was like, wow, you've really hit a home run here
yeah.
with this product. So, but folks, Matt, is there anything else you want to share with us tonight? I know we're wrapping it up here. We've talked about the Silverback, we talked about the Guardian liner, and we've talked about the Moisture Medic, the April Air dehumidifiers, and everything. And now we've talked about the Insta Dry. But before we bring the show to an end tonight and we go off air, is there anything that you can think of that you'd like to share with us? And let me ask you this: I have a couple of more questions, but we'll keep them short and short and sweet. But I just want to ask, where do you see crawl space going? What are we looking to do as far as crawl space? Where your crawl space repair? Where are you looking to go? What's on the horizon? Anything new?
Yeah, so we have some upcoming patents that we've filed. We're working out some details on and working out some manufacturing on that I think is going to help us in a couple different areas. The biggest area is when you encapsulate a crawl space, we kind of collide with three industries all at once, and that's the energy and insulation, energy savings
Right.
industry. You got the pest control industry, and you have the moisture control industry. All three of those don't agree on how to handle the foundation, and so we've got a solution for that coming down the pipe. We're working out the manufacturing and how we're going to do that, and do that here in the United States, and keep the cost to where it is a benefit and can make your installations faster. And make it so that you get a better end result, and your customers will be a lot happier for you for it. And so, we're looking at other locations that we can get a little bit closer to our customer base as we expand.
Sure.
I know that there's two lines of thought here, right? We can go into wholesale, and we can partner with folks that have established locations. And then the other channel is that we enter a market with a smaller like relay station where we can get closer to customers, so we don't have to hurdle the cost of shipping and the time it takes to travel, across a busy city. We're looking at those things to expand from our core out, right? We try not to step over an opportunity to go to one, so we want to handle our South Carolina folks as we reach out to Atlanta, and we get closer to Charlotte, we get closer to Knoxville, and those kinds of things. We have that targeted, and we're always looking for quality talent in our organization, management and focused people that have experience can help folks look at this. I mean, our main focus for our company has always been to make sure that our homeowner partners that own the homes that are the most vulnerable, not understanding what is the correct way, that we get that information to them, and we partner with companies that see that value so that we can pass on our information to them. We can help them do a really good job with really, really good products, and then the homeowner then wins in that scenario.
Sure. Awesome. Well, that sounds. Anything else you want to follow up with, or we can kind of bring it down? We're winding down to that time of the night, folks, where we spin our lucky prize wheel. So, I've been asked before several times. I've had emails, I've had phone calls, text messages through Facebook, through on my phone. Hey, what do I have to do to win a prize? How can I get my name in the lucky prize wheel so that I can win a prize? So, as you know, we've got new hats. We've got our new Core Scope hats in. We've got gray. We've got blue. We just got our T-shirts in. So I haven't showed you. If you haven't seen the T-shirts, I'll hold that up to the camera. I have to ask my camera guy over there, editor Preston. Can y'all see the shirts here? Is that a good view of it? All right, so here on our shirts, folks, it says at the core of industry, expanding the scope. At the core of industry, expanding the scope. So we've got this into where the podcast is yellow here, but for all intents and purposes, these are our new T-shirts. We've got them from small to 3X. People have asked me, hey, are you going to sell those? Can I get, or are they giveaway? We're going to give them away, so they are on the prize wheel. But let you know, being a veteran myself, anything that we sell, we haven't put a price on them or anything. We will have merchandise. But one thing for sure, anything that we sell, the proceeds are going to go to Wounded Warrior Project, because me being a veteran, it's something very dear to my heart. When I was in the Palmetto Backroads Band, we always gave a portion of our tips to the Wounded Warrior Project. So this is something we want to continue doing with Core Scope and keeping it going. But also, if you haven't seen, our coffee mugs have come in. So Core Scope there, coffee mugs, again, at the core of industry, expanding the scope. So, but anyway, we're going to pull the prize wheel out here. I'm going to spin it. We're going to see what you win. Again, we've also got all of our gift cards, Visa $50 gift cards, Home Depot, Walmart, Outback Steakhouse, Bonefish Grill, AMC Theaters. All gift cards are $50 or more. And we're going to pull out the prize wheel here, and I'm going to give it a spin. You're watching me over there, Matt, so we're going to make sure we do this a good spin. And by the way, there is a 4-night, 5-day vacation to the Bahamas on here, so let's see what we get.
While that spins around, I want to tell you that, I don't know if you know this or not, but we have coffee, crawl space coffee. We can pair up with your coffee cup.
Awesome. Somebody has won a $50 gift card to Home Depot. You know, Home Depot's been pretty popular here lately. That's the second person that's won the $50 to Home Depot. So we will be sending that out. And now we're, you know what, tonight, Matt, I'm going to let you dig into the golden wheel over there. So
move it up here?
Yeah, let's move it over there on the table. Put it up there. We'll let you give it a spin. Preston, can we see that in the camera angle over there? We got a thumbs up.
I'm bringing glasses.
Do you need me to come over there and read it?
Let me see. I got Michael Lambreth.
Michael Lambreth. Michael Lambreth.
I was afraid we were going to get a name that wasn't going to be real easy.
Not a problem. Michael Lambreth. All right, Michael Lambreth. You have Michael Lambreth. I know his name, and I'm having trouble pronouncing it tonight. That's just an indication you need a little drink of water here.
Yeah.
All right, so as you can see, we're having fun. This is what it's all about. We get a little tongue-tied, tongue-twisted here and there, but Michael Lambert, you have won a $50 Home Depot gift card, my friend. We will be getting that out to you, and you know what? I'm going to throw in a Core Scope hat on for you as well. So, but hey, folks, thank y'all for tuning in tonight. We've had a great time. We've had great conversation with Matt here. We've learned a lot about crawl space encapsulation, the products that Crawl Space Repair offers. So check them out if you're a contractor, www.crawlspacerepair.com. And as always, email us at insights@corescopeus.com. Give us your ideas. Please go on our YouTube page, click and subscribe, click follow, click like, but mainly, most importantly, to get your name into our prize wheel, we need you to subscribe to the channel. That's very important for us, folks. Thank you so much. Matt, great in the studio tonight. Had a lot of fun.
Thank you, sir.
Tune in next time, folks. Good night.